right, FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here with Nico Ali Walsh, 8-0, 5 knockouts, undefeated, still just 22 years old, coming up in a wide open division where, arguably the best fighter in the division hasn't fought since 2021 in Charlo. And does this work to your benefit, the landscape of this division being so open and begging for talent to come to the top?
I think it does. It is an open division, but it's also a dangerous one because 160 is kind of the middle ground for like everybody. I mean, people can, there's guys that can come up to 160. There's guys who can come down from 168. So it's a tough division, but right now where it's at, it's looking good.
How are you, after 8 fights, showing improvement each fight? What's your realistic timeline for, getting in position to fight for one of the 4 belts?
That would be totally up to my coaches. Cause if it was up to me, I've got that spirit where I will fight anyone, anytime. But of course, because it's boxing and you got to be smart, I'm not going to be fighting Canelo my next fight, so it's up to my coaches, but right now I'm training like I'm fighting for a title. So when that time comes, I'll be ready.
When you watch tape of yourself, what would you say needs to be worked on to get you to that level right now, from where you're at now to get to there?
There's a lot. There's always things that you can nitpick. Some things people do wrong and it works for others. Like for example, the Philly shell, the Mayweather defense. You can't have everybody doing that, but it worked for him. And, there's certain things that I do conventionally wrong that work for me. But aside from that, there's a lot for me to fix. There's a lot for me to improve on. And every fight I'm getting better. So I just want to stay on that track.
Do you feel like defense is I think we may have talked about this even one of your previous fights. Is that the tougher part to get adept at? Than it, because it's so far throwing your combinations, it's coming along pretty good. But is defense the harder part of the game?
It's honestly, it seems like it because I got hit a lot my first couple fights. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but I got hit more than I'd like to. And defense isn't hard for me at all. When I was sparring Edgar Berlanga, when I was sparring Caleb Plant, you should have seen my defense. It was on point. What it is when I'm I wouldn't say afraid, but when I'm nervous to get hit, when I'm going against competition where I know I've got my defense has to be sound, I don't get hit. So I think the problem is in my fights, I don't respect my opponent's power, which is not a good thing. And then I will just get lazy on the defense aspect. But, my sparring with Caleb Plant, I wasn't leaving the sparring with black eyes and stuff because I said, I'm not getting hit by this dude. It's not happening.
That kind of reminds me of your boy Jared Anderson too. I think he's got defense, but he hasn't been concerned about what's coming back right now.
Right. No, I mean it's weird. Sometimes you have to be against a puncher or someone who's someone who motivates you to be like, okay, I need to be on point. And that's what I'm working on. I don't take anyone for granted, but especially now.
Honestly, did you take confidence from sparring those guys recently, Berlanga and Plant? And do you think, obviously they're going to be respectful to you, but do you think deep down you won them over as believers?
Oh, absolutely. I think I will win everyone over as a believer that I work with because they will see my work ethic. And that's something that can't be taught. You can teach someone how to punch. You can teach someone defense, but you can never teach the heart of a warrior. And I really do feel like that's passed down, whether it's from my grandfather or my parents, or I think that heart, that spirit is passed down to me.
Again, you're at 2 different points. So you're 22. These guys are in their mid to late 20s, if not 30s, at the top of the division. But you and Jaime Munguia, he's still young enough that it could line up, don't you think? Do you think that's a fight that could actually happen one day, you and Jaime Munguia?
Who is it?
Jaime Munguia.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
He needs to fight better competition, man, because he's undefeated. He's had a belt at 54.
Really?
You've had to have seen this guy fight.
No, I've definitely seen him. All I do is watch boxing. I'm terrible at names though.
You got to fight better people, Jaime, because Nico's starting to forget you. Just to step outside of the ring. I mean, still boxing, but outside the ring for a sec. You were born, I think, after your grandfather's movie with Will Smith came out, Ali, in 2000. It was like June. It was like the summer of 2000. You might have been right.
I was born a month after. Yeah.
Right. So, did you get a chance to see Foreman? Did you get a chance?
I didn't yet. Everyone's been talking about it. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. But I want to, because obviously, of course, they portray my grandfather in it. I'm a fan of George Foreman, so I'd love to see his story.
You ever get to meet Big George?
I met him a few times when I was young, but I've never met him while I've been boxing. I'd have a new respect for it now, meeting him again now.
Right. And then I believe your opponent for Haney Lomachenko here in Vegas, pay-per-view, ESPN, I think it's Danny Rosenberger. Is that correct?
Yes.
13 wins, 9 losses. What are you looking to get out of this fight? Is it most important to look spectacular on a pay-per-view, or is it to learn something against this kind of guy? What's most important here?
Well, every fight I learn, no matter if I'm getting 6 rounds in or if it's a first round knockout, every fight I learn. So that's what I'm doing. But this fight is special because one, it's in Vegas, and this is my home now. So I love that. It's on a huge stage. I do better. The bigger the stage, the better I do. So that's exciting. And it's just a huge fight because I've never trained like this in my life before. I'm training this fight. I'm training with Kenny Sims, who's getting ready to fight next weekend, and he's fighting for a title eliminator. So it's like we're training like we're fighting for a title right now. I'm doing the same thing at same exact workouts as these guys. So it's just it's amazing. It would be amazing to see my progress. Training does the work for you. The fights are easy. They really are. So I'm excited to see my progress this fight.
Yeah, speaking of the training and the progress, are you starting to is your body transforming? Is it starting to get what I call that big fight cut? Like once you guys get to the big ones, you got that extra cut to you and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure you will see it weigh-in day, because abs are not important. Genetic wise, some people just don't have abs no matter how many ab workouts they'll do. But this camp, I've been having abs at heavier weights. Like I walk around at obviously a heavier weight than I fight at. And my walk around weight, I'm having abs. So my body will definitely be transformed. It'll look different this fight.
Right. That it's something to watch, with you guys as you get up there. By, fight 2025, all of a sudden it's going to be like, now he looks like a top 10 middleweight. Now he looks like a top 10 weight. Right. And I got to ask you about Devin in the main event. Well, actually, I think on Instagram, you were getting a kick out of the bodybuilder who thought to beat up Devin. And, what do you think about that?
First off, I loved Devin's response to that. He just said, he said, I would kill you. And it's true. People don't understand. I don't care if the bodybuilder's 300 pounds of pure muscle. You're not taking a punch from a professional boxer, let alone, the undisputed professional boxer. I don't care what weight it is, I don't know. That was funny. People don't understand that. Like if in a street fight, the only chance a bodybuilder would have against someone like Devin, even if Devin was 130 and the dude was 200 pounds, the only chance he would have is if he picked him up and if Devin couldn't touch him. That would be the only chance.
People will say, well, it's common sense. It's because they're professional fighters and normal people are not. So there you go. But is it is it just from the repetition of being a fighter? Is it the way you guys turn over the shot? And how much of it too is just the body has to get used to eating punches?
Yeah.
Right.
It's all that. I think the most important thing is getting hit, the body, I mean, it takes years and years and years for your body to accept a punch. And in a street fight, there's not a lot of punches thrown. You know, you see these street fight videos online, one punch and it's a knockout. It's because these guys aren't used to taking punches. So imagine if they're taking a punch, a one punch knockout type punch from a one punch knockout artist, boxer. So it would be a completely different story if a boxer got into a street fight with just a random.
Well, it's just interesting because they say it's kind of like you're born with a good chin or not. But then at the same time, like you're saying, even if you're born with a strong shock absorber, you got to be trained time and time again to.
Yeah, I think it's the fear. So you are born with a chin. You cannot train your chin.
Right.
I mean, you can train your neck to absorb more impact, but like you either got a chin or you don't. It's, you know, like Triple G, you can't. He was born like that. He's probably got the greatest chin in history. He was born like that. But it's not just that. It's the fear of getting hit. Like you see people in these street fights, like they punch different. They punch afraid. It's hard to explain, but like these boxers, if they get into a street fight, they're not afraid. We do this every single day, hours, like several times a day. So it would be a different story. It'd be fun to watch a street fight with a boxer.
For as long as it lasts. But
right.
What do you think of him fighting, Lomachenko? Does he win that fight, Nico?
Yeah, I think Devin will win the fight. And I think he will make it look similar to the Kambosos fight. Lomachenko is an outstanding boxer, probably one of the best in his weight in my era. And I mean, I watched so much footage on Lomachenko just over the years. So people looking past Lomachenko is just ridiculous to me. But I think this fight will just show where Devin's at. Devin's not even in his prime. He's coming to a point where he's reaching it, and he's still young. I don't know. I think, is he 24? Or
yeah, I think he's 24. Yeah,
24?
He's turning 24.
That's ridiculous. Like that's young, but this fight will show where he stands, and I think he'll make it look easy.
Do you think if he fights the other southpaw at lightweight, Tank, what would that fight look like right now? I know it's hard for you guys to make picks because these guys.
No, I know. I've thought about all these because that weight class, Devin's weight, whether it's Tank or Shakur or Ryan Garcia, all these guys, it's like amazing matchups. Devin leads the pack in terms, as far as I'm concerned. I believe Devin leads the pack. And Shakur, him and Shakur are the best boxers. No one's gonna beat them anytime soon. But Tank's specialty is his power. Everyone knows that. But still, when you face a tactician like Devin or Shakur, power doesn't work with people who don't get hit, So that would be an interesting fight, though.
And just lastly on those guys, man, do you ever feel the competitive tension at the top-ranked gym between those two, Stevenson and Haney?
I don't. I mean, there's everyone has competition. Competition is good. Competitiveness is good. They know what they're doing. They know each other. The biggest thing is they're not jealous. They're very secure of themselves. They both are great in their own aspects. And a lot of fighters I've seen, unfortunately, have a little bit of egos, like fragile egos, and they'll get jealous and they'll get upset. Devin and Shakur are not like that. They're great in their own ways, and I don't think they step on each other's toes at all.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nico, and we'll be seeing you May 20th on ESPN pay-per-view against Danny Rosenberger.
Yes.
We'll see. May the best man win, but I have a feeling you might deliver a knockout that night. Wouldn't be surprised. So best of luck to you.
Either way, it's going to be the best performance you've seen of me, and I promise you that.
Thanks, Nico. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.